Man, picking your top 10 favorite moments from a series is really hard. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm a bit belated, but we're going to be doing my top 10 moments from the last King of Osten series. And this was specifically a patron requested video. So if you want the chance to suggest a specific type of video, you can definitely check out the patron in the link below. But this was requested by Heidi, and it was a kind of a fun one to go through and try and figure out what my top 10 moments are here, because I haven't done one of these before, and I've seen other people do one. Like a friend of mine, Patrick, did a top 10 Dungeon Crawler Carl moments, which was a really fantastic video. I'll link that down below because that was fun. But I haven't really done this kind of thing, so I thought it'd be fun to go through, and it took me a while, but I finally think I have my top 10, so we're going to jump in. Now, I will know, this is going to be super spoiler-filled for the entire Last King of Osten series, and I'm going to be jumping between different books. So instead of like being like, oh, this is a spoiler for this book, this is a spoiler for that book, a lot of these are spoilers for the very last book, The Navigator's Children. So if you've not read the whole series, probably don't watch this. I'm sorry, but there it is. But suffice it to say, there are a lot of great moments. So let's jump in. So coming in at number 10, I put the reveal of the red thing, so to speak, which there's another moment I'll talk about that involves this later, but we have at the beginning set up where it seems like there's something sinister going on, where like his priority is back somehow. Is he still there? Because there's a red thing running around like underneath in the ruins of Asua, underneath the Hayhole. And then it's revealed that no, it's not something mystical or magical or somehow Priority's. It's Priority's insane mother who's running around down there. I just thought was such a fun kind of twist. It's you'll see a theme here with several of these being things that kind of brought back stuff from the very first book, or like were big reveals. But I thought it was just it was kind of an interesting way to do it, because when that first happened, I'm like, there has to be some explanation. I don't think it's gonna go the magical route. So I felt like there was some practical explanation, but it takes a while to really loop back there. But I thought that was a creative way to do it. Next up then, which is another big like kind of reveal type of thing, but number 9, the reveal that Omu the Whisperer is not actually Omu the Whisperer, but is Jaloe, who is still dead, but like a spirit has come through. That was such a good reveal, just because we've seen Omu the Whisperer, and it recontextualizes every mention of what's happening. You're thinking that there's something that's really sinister going on, and everything's totally different. And just the fact that Jaloe tricked Utuku and was able to make her think that it was really Omu, and she was hanging out near the Veil of Death, and so was able to do that and come back and do some other really important things. That was a really cool reveal, and I really appreciated that. So that gets the number 9 spot. I'm looking at these, and now so many of these are probably interchangeable. So, but I'm going to keep with the ranking that I did. But number 8, and I debated on a few of these, but number 8, I kind of did the Vieki having a change of heart. So I think these are all so far in The Navigator's Children, which there were a lot of great moments early on, but just the last book, so many things really stand out, and it's probably a little bit fresher, so maybe that's why a little bit of that recency bias. But with Vieki, who I thought was a really interesting character, and we see him kind of throughout the whole series very conflicted, not sure what to do, and he's not feeling the most loyal, and he's seeing all of this dysfunction with the Norns. But then the final moment where he's talking to the diggers and the builders, and he's like, basically he knows that they're going to do what they're not supposed to do, and he has the choice if he wants to look the other way or if he wants to come down on them, and he makes the choice that he's gonna let it happen and actually kind of participate in the treachery. And it was just such a core moment, and the fruition of that character's arc. So another one that I really quite enjoyed. And then after that, we're on 7. So 7, and there's a couple of these as well that are reveals that it's not a specific moment necessarily, but it's kind of a build up again. But I'm cheating a little bit. It's my list. I can do that. So number 7 is the reveal about Soja and Unvar, and the fact that they are the children of Joshua and Vorsheva, and that's what had happened here. And builds into the whole thing with Vorsheva, where she is just a terrible person, but finding out that they are these missing children that have been looked for, that have been such a theme, like it tracked, and I started to wonder about it before the actual reveal, but just kind of seeing that, finding out what happened to them, and have them be these really important characters. And while it's, Solja's his daughter is a little bit more important throughout, but just having them be these important characters, it was a really interesting way to kind of wrap it around, and how they both have very different expectations. You do get some kind of meeting back up in the last book as well, which is really interesting, but just that kind of that's what's happened here, because you're just not sure, and there are a lot of those moments where you're just building the suspense, and so I really enjoyed that one as well. And then going into number 6. So number 6 is what ties back into my number 10 answer. It is from the first book, The Witchwood Crown, when Morgan is climbing up at the top of Priority's tower, and then sees in through the rubble what he thinks is Priority's. That's the first glimpse of the red thing. So it's kind of that full circle moment with number 10. And while I liked the reveal, there was something about that moment. It was handled really, really well. And it was just this immediate grab of oh, there is something going on here. And it's, a callback to the original series too. And so something about that moment just really, really stood out to me, and I really enjoyed it. And it's another one that has a long time before it really comes back to fruition. But was just such a crazy moment, because as you wondering immediately what's happened, and Morgan doesn't really want to say anything because he's like, am I crazy? And so it's just a lot of good stuff there. Number 5. So number 5 is another one that's kind of a mix, because it is the waking of Hakatree, which I think is into the Narrow Dark. If I recall, it might be at the end of Brothers of Grace, Empire of Grass. I mean, I'm drawing a blank, but the impact of that is mostly you do need to read Brothers of the Wind, because if you don't read Brothers of the Wind, it doesn't have as much impact. So I think it must be an Empire of Grass. I think that's where I read them, because when that happens, and Utuku awakes him and pulls him back from death, basically, it's such a crazy moment all on its own. But then reading Brothers of the Wind, getting the backstory and seeing oh my gosh, that just makes it all the better. And there's some really good moments that happen there too in the next couple of books as well. But just that moment, especially with Brothers of the Wind, which Brothers of the Wind was excellent, for the record. It was so good. It really just ties in and has for such a great moment where you really, really feel it. Because it was a really cool moment and a big moment before reading Brothers of the Wind, but then going back, then in retrospect, it just really amped that up even more. So it was super cool. So then that was 5. So 4. So we're on 4 now. So 4 is also from the Witchwood Crown, and this is hard to pick as a favorite moment, because it's sad. But I loved the beginning of the Witchwood Crown. We're focusing on Isgrimnor, who is getting ready to die, and just it's a send off to a favorite character. He was quite old. It makes sense that he's at this point, but just the moments that we have there all around. It's not even a specific one, but just that focus early on in the Witchwood Crown. It was really sad, but it just was. It was so good, and I really enjoyed it. And the Witchwood Crown just pulled me in so immediately. That this was one of the reasons why, especially after you had the Heart of Hope is Lost, we get to see shortly after to Green Angel Tower, following Isgrimnor and co. And so then going back in and starting the Witchwood Crown with him on his deathbed, it was very sad, but very, very powerful, and a lot of touching moments there. So enjoyed that as well. Getting then into number 3. Now, I don't know if this should really be as high as number 3, because again, as I've gone through, I've started to second guess some of my choices, but I am a Benebik fan for life. Benebik is one of my favorite characters. So the first moment that Simon and Benebik reunite, it's that nostalgia from the first series. It's that feeling. It's Benebik's here. So I put that up here just because it's not even it's a crazy important moment. And we do get to see Benebik throughout. But I really liked seeing them both come back together. And it's another thing that just early on pulls you in, reminds you of the earlier series, but then starts setting up new things. So it worked really, really well. So number 2, I have to put, because I didn't. It was one of those moments where I was so conflicted, because it was such a great moment, and I didn't know if it was going to be true or not. But Simon's death, which happens, gosh, I think that's into the Narrow Dark. I'm forgetting what happens in which book now, but I read them all pretty much back to back. But Simon's death, where he's fighting Unver and then realizes who Unver is, and then you have a moment where it makes it seem like he was stabbed in the chest, and really he had a heart attack. And it doesn't Tad doesn't like make you wonder too long and like try to fake you out, but it's such a good moment to end the chapter on, and then you do have to wait a little bit to come back, and you like figure he's probably not dead, but it was such a powerful scene. It's just like I fake out deaths can be really annoying, and there are some other sort of fake out deaths in here as well, but usually it's like but other characters don't. But that scene, it just was so damn good. It didn't even bother me that it's sort of a fake out death. It was just like, you're like, oh no. And it's also ties into another moment where we find out who Unver is. And so just that realization again, it's just such a big moment. It means so much. And it's just Simon literally just like can't take it as a heart attack. Even that's a great moment. His death, quote unquote, as well. Fantastic moment as well. And then number one. So, oh my gosh, I actually am realizing I had something else in here, and then shortly before filming this, I realized I only had 9, but I dropped something out. So this is going to be the ultimate number one with an addition, because I realized I forgot to mention something. But what I have here is the reveal of all of the Tanuka Dea stuff, which does tie in with the other thing too, which is the reveal of the 9th ship and sort of the whole thing. So this is where it's like just the ending of the Navigator's Children, but you find it out throughout too. So all of the hints here with the Tanuka Dea, with them being drawn, and this is happening for a while, but just finding out that all of these different creatures are Tanuka Dea, from the Gants to the Kilpa, the Dwaros, like all of these different creatures are the Tanuka Dea because they were the changelings that slowly took on these different personalities or these different like features and all of these crazy different things that we see. It also explains why we have all of these types of magical creatures in an otherwise fairly normal world, and it's just like that was so cool to me. That was such a great, fantastic type of world building thing as well. It like coming back and having that recontextualized stuff from the first series as well. I absolutely loved that. So that was a huge thing that I loved. And then all of the big reveals of how the Scythian and the Norns, they came on the ships, and we find out more about that. We see the 9th ship, which ends up actually being the Witchwood Crown, and again tying back to the first book where you weren't really sure what was going on there. And the fact that they didn't actually come like via a sea and like the Dreaming Sea we talked about, but basically they like traveled through dimensions, and it was just such a fascinating thing. And it just, again, it added so much. It all fit in so well, like adding all of this stuff. I don't know if this was always the plan, but it fits so incredibly well. And it's just all of these big reveals that were big on lore and the world, and I loved it. I just ate all that up, and it's one of the reasons why especially I love the last book so much. So there's your gigantic jumbo number one there, but so many amazing things, and that's why the Navigator's Children was just such a good book, and now I just keep thinking about it. Now I want to go back and read the whole thing again, but we'll see. I don't have time to do that right now, but it's always a tempting thing with some of my favorite series. But there you have it. There are my 10-ish favorite moments or sections or parts or whatever. I cheated a little here, but that's okay. From the Last King of Ostenard series. Let me know yours. I'm sure there's plenty of great moments that you have if you read the whole thing as well, that you have that maybe I didn't have. Probably some I agree with too, but it was really hard to narrow down. So definitely let me know if you're watching this, some of your favorite moments, and hopefully you're not still watching this if you had, because I spoiled pretty much everything. But hey, there you have it. That's it for this one, though. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description, as always, for the Wizard of the Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.